How much has life changed for you in the last 10 years? My life has changed drastically in the last 10 years. My ministry has changed drastically in the last 10 years. There are some things that have changed in my ministry that I would have never expected. And I want to share with you today 5 things that have changed in my ministry over the last 10 years. Some of them might surprise you. Hey everybody, I'm Pastor Joshua. Thanks so much for watching this video. I want to do something just maybe a little different today. I want to share some more personal thoughts as I answer this question, how has my ministry changed in 10 years? I have 5 things that I want to give you that are ways that my ministry has changed, and there are probably more, but these are the more major ones. First way that my ministry has changed, or maybe my view of ministry has changed, is that I love being a senior pastor or a lead pastor. You see, I spent several years, in fact, by the time I finished up official youth ministry, I had 25 years of youth ministry behind me. And in those 25 years, for most of them, I just assumed I was going to be a lifetime youth pastor. I just loved working with teens. I would say this before. There were times that I had said this actually several times. I didn't really want to work with adults, and this is what I used to say. I didn't want to work with adults because they really aren't different than teens, except they should know better. And that was my thought. That was the way I saw working with adults, being a senior pastor or a lead pastor. And so I just didn't want to deal with that. But God began to change my heart and show me the need for that and really help me come to a place where I now very much enjoy that. I enjoy the fruit of and the challenge of shepherding a church. I fully recognize the weight of responsibility that is on me as the shepherd, but man, I can't imagine doing anything else. And that has changed in the last 10 years to bring me to a place now where I just absolutely love what I do. The second way that my ministry has changed is I'm a vocational pastor. I spent 12 years my first 12 years in maybe what we would call official ministry, officially called as a pastor. I spent 12 years bivocationally. I worked about 50 hours a week, and then I would also try to do the best that I could to be a youth pastor, an associate pastor, preaching once a month, leading a youth group, doing all of the things that you would normally do as a pastor. But I was doing that while working a full-time job. And that was tough. I can't say that I terribly enjoyed that, yet when I look back now, I would say that I would never trade that. That's something I would never trade. And I have a special place in my heart for the guys that are doing that now. I would encourage you, if you're thinking about that, if you're saying, boy, I think I want to do vocational ministry, let me encourage you that you just think that through before that's something that you actually step into, or rather bivocational ministry, because it's tough and it's hard. But there's not a day goes by today that I don't appreciate the time that I spent as a bivocational pastor, because it helps me appreciate the things that I have today. It helps me appreciate being able to go to lunch with other pastors. Long days, difficult days, they're easier because I'm still able to do vocationally the thing that I love to do, and that's one of the major ways that my life has changed. The third one is something that will surprise you, maybe a little bit. It might give some of you, it might make some of you a little uncomfortable. And I'm just going to say this, okay? Number 3, you saw it on the thumbnail, and maybe that's why you clicked the thumbnail. A little bit of clickbait, sorry. But I don't use a Bible anymore. Okay, so I use the Bible. I don't use a Bible. Can I say it that way? What I don't use is one of these. Okay, I don't even carry a physical Bible to the pulpit anymore. I don't study from a physical Bible. I don't really even do my quiet time with God out of a physical Bible. And I know that bothers some people because they want paper and they want a book to hold on to. And I understand that. And if that's what you love, then great. But in the last few years, I have gone very digital because I love that on my iPad, my phone, whatever it is, I can carry literally my entire library with me. In fact, another change that goes right along with this is I've gotten rid of almost my entire physical library of books because I use things like Logos and Olive Tree. It saves me so much time, and then I don't have books all over my office as well. If I'm not using them, I figured I don't need to have them. So I don't use a physical Bible. I study out of things like Logos and Olive Tree, digital Bibles. The great thing is I can study out of them. I can pick up any other device and any notes that I've made. Anything that I have is right there. All my sermons, if this was all that I had and somebody asked me to preach, I could get to all my sermons right here. And so it's been great for me. Yes, again, a little bit of clickbait. I preach out of the Bible and I use the Bible all the time, but I just don't use a physical Bible. Number four thing that has changed in the last 10 years. I used to think of myself as a guy that really tried hard not to be stuck in tradition. But I look back now and I see that I was. There were a lot of things that were very traditional for me. And I'm not saying that tradition is bad, but over the last 10 years, the Lord has worked in my heart, and I've been able to see in Scripture the things that He sees as important and the things that we as a culture here in America have set as important in the church. And I'm still learning. There are things that God is still revealing to me and challenging me with. However, over the last 10 years, I've been able to just enjoy the being together and functioning as a church community and not worrying so much about all the traditional things that we always used to think that we had to do. And it's been great just to see how God works in my heart and has worked even in the heart of our church to change that, which leads me then to the fifth and final thing that I want to share with you today, and that's philosophy of ministry. I wrote down that I changed my philosophy of ministry in the last 10 years, and I sort of did, but more than anything, I gained a philosophy of ministry. I thought I had a philosophy of ministry when I was younger, but as God has worked in my heart and begun to show me biblically what is important and biblically what we should be doing as Christians, as churches, as pastors, God has given me a clear philosophy of ministry, and that clear philosophy of ministry has helped me become a better leader, a better pastor, a better shepherd, and it has impacted every ministry that I'm involved in, wherever it is. In fact, it has increased ministry involvement and opportunity because of a very clear philosophy of ministry that pours out into our church how we do things, what we do. And I am so thankful that God has taught me those things in the last 10 years. There has been many other ways that my ministry has changed, that my life has changed, the ways that God has grown me. But those are 5 ways. Let me ask you today, what are some ways, if you just look back over the last 5 years, what are some ways that God has changed you? What are some things that have changed in the last 10 years? Maybe you're involved in a ministry. What are those things? Drop them down in the comments. Let me know. Give me 5 things or one thing that has changed in the last 10 years. I'd love to hear from you, especially pastors or those in other church ministries. Let me know how your ministry has changed in the last 5 or 10 years. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. I hope you appreciated this video. I hope it was just a fun way to kind of let you in on my life a little bit. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I trust that this video was an encouragement to you. If it was, please hit the like button. That really helps my videos out a lot. It tells YouTube that you liked them, sends them other places. And then if you have not yet subscribed, most of my views come from people who have not subscribed. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate that. And while you're there subscribing, hit this little thing. Yep, this little bell that lets you know every time I upload. I try to upload a video almost every week, so then you won't miss anything. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.